What up? It's your boy T-Bird on Reaction. Today is doing some wrestling reaction for Wrestle Wednesday or possibly tomorrow. The Wednesday when I get it out. And I've been interested in a lot of these videos that talk about like stuff that's going on wrestling with stuff and what is bad things, a wrestler we forgot, crazy bizarre tag teams, crazy names, etc. So we're gonna check this video out from WrestleMania, Cole Holy Wrestling. What's the the other one I react to? Either way, we're gonna check out the one from WrestleMania. Is 10 WWE superstars you forgot to switch to WCW. So you know, a lot of people, that was a thing for a while before, before it was folks going from WWE to AEW, like most recently with Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin for now Hurt Syndicate. I mean, I'm doing that here. I'm not against it. Just how know my little story about how the Hurt business made me quit being a wrestling fan, and it wasn't because of the Hurt business themselves. It's because of a certain amount of fans. I just hope I don't deal with that nonsense again. That's all I'm saying. I doubt it, because that means AEW is not going to be as crazy as it was with WWE. But anyway, before we had folks going from WWE to AEW or vice versa, we had guys going in from WWE to WCW as well too, and vice versa. Other than that, without further ado, let's check out the 10 WC stars. Now, the ones who went from WWE to WCW, and I mean like Scott Hall and Nash, Hogan and Macho Man, Les Luger, Jeff Jarrett, Bret Hart, and many others. But we want to see the ones who we did not know appeared in WCW that it wasn't WWE. So without further ado, let's check it out.
10 WWE wrestlers you didn't actually know appeared in WCW. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Number 10, Sable.
Wow.
Sable was one of the most popular female stars of the 90s, and when Sable departed WWE in 99, it looked set that the former women's champion would sign a contract with WCW. Sable would even appear on camera on an episode of Nitro, and although WCW weren't going to be legally able to use the Sable name due to copyright reasons, she still had a great look, and WCW could have easily presented her as a star of their female division. There have been tons of rumors over the years as to why Sable didn't end up signing for the promotion. When she appeared on camera in 1999, it was rumored that she was still under WWE contract, and this consequently would breach her contract. It was also claimed by some WCW fans that Sable's appearance was edited out of future replays of Nitro, and it was rumored that WCW later claimed that Sable wasn't invited to the show, she simply bought a ticket. This latter rumor doesn't hold much merit, as Sable seemed to have security at the side of her, which wouldn't have been the case if she was in attendance as a fan. Number 9, Jamie Noble. Most wrestling fans know Jamie Noble for his work during the Ruthless Aggression era in WWE. Noble was a tremendous in-ring talent, and he's been signed to WWE in a producer role for many years, a role in which he's said to be a natural at.
He's
but
been
before
doing
Noble
good.
would end up in WWE, he would have an often forgotten about run in WCW. His run would come during the final years of the promotion's existence, and he portrayed various gimmicks, including Jamie style. Whilst Noble's WCW run wasn't exactly anything to write home about, he was impressive from an in-ring perspective, and it was evident that he had a ton of potential. This potential was realized when Noble became one of the names that WWE offered a contract in 2001. Number 8, Luna Vachon. Luna Vachon is considered by many to be one of the most underrated female stars of all time. There was something magnetic about Vachon, and there's a reason why fans still talk about her body of work. In 1997, Vachon, who was mostly known and celebrated for her time in WWE and ECW, would embark on a brief run in WCW. This run would see her feud with Medusa, and Vachon and Medusa would even have a pay-per-view showdown at the Slamboree event. By late 97, Vachon was back in WWE, and the WCW run just became a distant memory for fans. In fact, Vachon only had one televised match in WCW, and had 3 matches on an NWO vs WCW TakeOver tour. The run was that brief. Number 7, Rhino.
Really? Oh yeah! He was a jobber. Yep.
Had run-ins in virtually every wrestling company ever. Rhino was a major player for ECW, and he's considered one of the biggest stars in the promotion. In WWE, whilst Rhino was never world champion, he had numerous incredibly memorable runs, and he won multiple titles in the promotion. Finally, in TNA, Rhino was a key player in getting TNA recognized by the wider fan base, and Rhino has and continues to deliver some fantastic work in the company. As well as the
here it goes.
Rhino has also had a run in WCW, and it came early on during his time as a pro wrestler. He would be booked to be an enhancement talent, and this was a great role for a name that had only been wrestling for a short period. Rhino would use Terry Richards, and he would be booked to lose to names such as Jim Duggan and Road Warrior Hawk. Number 6,
Road Dogg. Yup.
It's really hard to imagine Road Dogg in another.
Yeah, my man had a sweet Jerry curl, man.
Promotion outside of WWE. Of course, he had a dreadful stint in TNA, yet it's in everyone's best interest for that to be forgotten about. Before he ended up in WWE, Road Dogg would have an extended run in WCW.
Oh, he had the braids then too.
For this run, he would use the name Brian Armstrong. According to Road Dogg, although he didn't have a guaranteed contract.
He went against. So it's like the only time he went against his soon-to-be DX member, because one of his earlier matches when he had Jericho, when he went against Triple H when he was terrorizing. This is when he went against when he was Paul Levesque of the Blue Bloods.
In the company, he did consider the run as his big break. Road Dogg got to work with a number of legends whilst in the promotion, and this naturally set him up with the confidence to succeed when he would go to WWE years later. Number 5.
I'm mad he should have won with Jericho. Yup. And he used to wrestle barefoot. Yup.
Rob Van Dam. Between 1992 to 1993, WCW had a name on their roster that could have been a major player throughout the 90s.
Indeed.
That name in question was Rob Van Dam. RVD was new to wrestling at this stage, yet he still had immense talent, and it was obvious that RVD was a legitimate star. Due to Bill Watts not liking the name RVD, he would be forced to use the odd name of Robbie V, which didn't exactly scream WCW never realized the true potential that RVD had.
Well,
he had to say about his WCW run on his podcast. I wasn't happy in WCW, but what really sucked was when I came back from Japan. Bill Watts is no longer the booker. Now the man in charge is Ole Anderson. Ole Anderson didn't like Robbie V as much as Bill Watts. So I went from having wins over guys like that to basically either getting squashed on TV or I was giving tryouts and dark matches.
Everybody know about how Ole was.
For guys that were coming up from different parts of the world and stuff. So it was like, you know what, I don't want to stay here anymore. And I told my Graham that, who was the agent, and he said, well, let me see what I can do. The next week, he offered me an extra $50 if I stayed. The thing is, the whole time, I had this feeling I wasn't going to want to.
Damn, $50? Shit. You was damn. You was down bad, that bad, Robbie?
Jesus. So I never signed the contract. I kept losing the contract, much like forgetting to bring the ECW Television Championship belt back to the shows.
That's
the interesting thing about RVD and WCW is that RVD almost rejoined the promotion in '97, and it was even rumored that WCW wanted him to portray.
Damn, I made me feel bad at the times I was like taking lowball stuff during my DJ days, man. Jesus, that's just. By the way, that did put me on the mask, make me they was why they made him Glacier. Okay. Wow. I mean, to be honest, he probably been a better Glacier than he ended up getting, to be honest, but at the same time, wow.
The infamous Glacier persona. Number 4, Miko Satomura. Miko Satomura is considered to be one of the most influential female wrestlers to ever lace up a pair of boots. And it's only over the past few years that WWE have acknowledged just how important of a name she is in the world of professional wrestling. Before Satomura embarked on a run in WWE and became NXT UK champion, she had successful runs in every promotion she went to, and she even had a run in WCW. Her run lasted between 1996 to 1997, and she was brought in through WCW's working relationship with Japan. WCW didn't seem to know what level of star they had, as Satomura was never chosen to be a central figure.
That was a mean splash, whoever that was.
Big shame, and it was only a matter of time until the business relationship between the two sides ended, and Satomura's WCW run would come to an end. Number 3, Edge. WWE Hall of Fame.
Matt Striker.
A total of 2 matches for WWE.
Matt Striker. No, it was Matt Striker or something. Don something Striker. Yeah, not Matt Striker. It was like something Striker. Damien Striker. Damien Striker.
Meng. Despite wrestling one of the toughest wrestlers on the planet, this didn't put the future rated R superstar off wrestling, and although he was using the odd name of Damien Striker, he was able to impress people and get his name out there. Eventually, after taking the advice of Bret Hart, Edge would send an old-school audition tape to WWE, and the rest, they say, is history. He
was a audience member asking questions to Bret in Canada in like a talk show.
The interesting thing about Edge in WCW is that although he only had 2 official matches for the promotion, he was officially the last ever WCW US champion, as he was the reigning champion at the 2001 Survivor Series event, which was the night the title was unified with the Intercontinental Championship. Number 2, Owen Hart.
Really?
Imagine an alternative universe in which Owen Hart signs for WCW in the late 90s. It was incredibly close to happening. In fact, after Hart had numerous matches for the promotion, a contract was on the table. However, Hart had zero interest in moving to Atlanta, so he ultimately made the call to sign with WWE.
Nice.
A lot of Hart's work for WCW took place on live events, and this was probably the right call from WCW at the time, as Hart was just a few years into his pro wrestling journey, and he would be booked to work with names such as Rip Rogers and Bobby Eaton. There was a strong portion of fans who wanted Hart to jump ship alongside Bret in '97, and this was a feeling that was shared by members of the Hart family. However, due to Owen still being under contract and WWE having no interest in releasing him, this would have never been a possibility.
What made me feel bad about that, if he would have ever probably did want to WCW, he'd probably still be here.
With that being said, both Harts in WCW in the late 90s would have made for some compelling viewing. And number 1, AJ Styles. Whilst the final years of WCW...
This ought to be like renamed. This would be people that forgot switched to WWE. It's more so people that were in WWE, whether they switched or the only one that switched, was a switch was Sable and Luna and Sable and Luna. That's about it. Everybody else was in WCW 40 with the WWE. Be honest.
Filled with turmoil, they had some phenomenal talent on their roster at the time, and one of these names they had was
Praise up to Mondo.
Just before AJ ended up in TNA, he would be part of the final few months of WCW's existence, as he would be mainly used in the Cruiserweight division, and the crowd reacted to him like he was something special. And even the 2001 WCW audience knew that AJ had a lot to offer. Whilst his run was brief in the promotion, Eric Bischoff did have meaningful plans for him, and if WCW wasn't purchased by WWE, Bischoff would have built on the Cruiserweight division. This is what he had to say.
That's probably why he did so great in TNA, because, you know, it was like pretty much the WCW for them later on.
Regard to the wrestling legend on his podcast. I'll be honest, I didn't have my eye on AJ Styles at the time he was in WCW, so I can tell you that I analyzed him and watched him and thought he was going to be a great fit for the Cruiserweight division.
Shane Moore used to be on this? Oh yeah. I think it did.
I wanted to bring more of that style.
Oh yeah. For me, I'm about to say Shane Moore. Yeah, I forgot he was part of that the boy band faction with Gregory Helms, Hurricane. And I got the third guy was.
Jimmy Yang came in along with Shannon Moore and some of the other guys that were part of the late Cruiserweight recruitment, and I like Jimmy. Jimmy was a good friend of my son Garrett. I think they went to school together, so I was a big fan of Jimmy Yang's. I certainly would have kept him around, and I certainly would have kept AJ Styles around and built on that Cruiserweight division. But there you have it, folks.
Fucking Russo too focused on it, who try to take away the Cruiserweight and everything. You know the story with that. But anyway, this was cool. This was definitely cool right here. Video watch as well too. I was surprised that did I see this one? I did see the stolen gimmick one before, but yeah, this was a cool one to watch for sure. Though, other than that, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bear signing off. One love.